let me ask you a question that sounds kind of like a riddle. What if I told you the most important part of an object is the part that isn't there at all? It's an ancient piece of wisdom that, believe it or not, shapes just about everything we do. And it all starts with a really simple object.
I mean, really think about it. You pick up a coffee mug. What makes it work? Is it the heavy ceramic, the handle, or is it something else entirely?
Exactly. It's the empty space. The clay gives the cup its shape, its structure, sure, but it's the void, the literal nothing in the middle that actually holds your coffee. Without that emptiness, you just have a useless lump of clay. And this simple idea, it's the key to a whole new way of looking at the world.
And this isn't some one-off trick with a coffee cup. This is a powerful pattern, a secret, really, that's hidden inside some of humanity's most important inventions. Let's look at 3 ancient examples to see this secret in action.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the wheel. You see it every day, but do you ever stop to think about what actually makes it?
Well, wheel-like?
So a wheel has its form, right? The spokes, the rim, the solid stuff you can touch. But its function, the thing that makes it useful, comes from the emptiness. It's the hollow hub at the very center. That little bit of nothing is what lets the entire wheel spin on an axle. No hole, no spin. It's just a big round doorstop. Now let's bring that same thinking back to our good old cup. Suddenly, you can see it's not just a clever observation. It's part of a much bigger pattern.
Yep, it's the exact same logic. The form is the clay that's been molded. It's what creates the container. But all of its usefulness, its entire purpose, comes from the hollow space inside. You could almost say the solid part only exists to serve the empty part. For our last ancient example, let's scale this idea way up. We're going from something you hold in your hand to the very space you live inside, a room. Think about it. If you just have walls, a floor, and a ceiling, what is that? It's a box. It's a cell. What makes it a livable room is the emptiness we carve out of it. The doors we can walk through, the windows that let in light, and the open space inside where we actually live our lives. And this all brings us to this incredible, ancient insight. The part that exists, the spokes, the clay, the walls, that has value. It provides potential. But it's the part that's absent, the hole, the void, the space, that makes it truly deeply useful. Okay, so this might all sound like cool ancient philosophy, but here's the thing. This idea is more relevant today than ever. Let's take a look at how this genius of emptiness is secretly shaping everything from the phone in your pocket to the way we work. Just look at product design. Remember old phones covered in physical buttons? Now we have clean, empty glass screens. That useful emptiness is what makes a smartphone so incredibly versatile. And it's the same thing with our calendars. A schedule packed with meetings might look productive, but it's all form. The real value, the real creativity, comes from the empty blocks of unscheduled time that we protect. It even changes how we connect with each other. A micromanager who fills every second with instructions is like that room with no doors. There's no space for anyone to grow. A great leader creates emptiness. They create space for trust and autonomy. And in a simple conversation, talking nonstop adds no value. It's the powerful silence, the empty space you leave for someone else to fill, that allows for real listening. So we get the pattern. We see how it works today. But how can we actually use this idea? How can we create this useful emptiness in our own lives on purpose? Well, here's a quick toolkit. First, literally schedule emptiness. Block out time in your calendar with zero agenda. That's your protected space for breakthroughs. Second, cut the clutter. Look around your desk, your apps, your to-do list. What can you remove to make everything else more useful? Third, practice listening in silence. In your next chat, just resist the urge to fill every single pause. You'll be amazed at what happens. And finally, clear out the mental noise. That's what practices like meditation are really for. Not adding something new, but creating empty space in your mind so new ideas have room to show up. In the end, it all comes back to this. It's the pause between the notes that creates music. It's the empty space around a sculpture that gives it shape. And sometimes, the pause between words is where the real meaning lies. That space,
That's where life happens.
So I'll leave you with this question. In your work, in your relationships, in your own mind, where are you so focused on the form, on just filling things up? And where could you create a little bit of useful, powerful emptiness to make everything work just a little bit better?